Hi everybody, this is Mike Staver and this is Mondays with Mike, a weekly show where I answer questions from people like yourselves. Here we go, Mike. Dear Mike, bullying gets a lot of press, as it probably should. And I must tell you that it makes me sick to see people get picked on. The most senior executive of our firm is a bully. They're not physically a bully, but they're still destructive. They tend to be passive aggressive, they make negative comments, they're extremely controlling, and no idea is really good unless it's theirs, even though they say all the right things. If we make a decision, we suffer the boss's criticism. This executive says all the right things, yet the behavior makes hypocrisy so obvious. I've been there for years and at the end of my rope. Is it worth a conversation or should I just move on? Well, if you've been there for years and never had a conversation, that probably says something about your level of assertiveness. So the first thing you need to do is ask yourself, have I done all I can to assert myself in that environment? However, I do know that there are senior executives and junior executives, but you're talking about a senior executive who do tend to say all the right things and do all the right things, but are very passive aggressive and they do things the way they want and don't give anybody else credit. That is generally a personality or systemic problem that they have that is not likely to change. So you've got to weigh your political points. If you have enough political points to go in and sit down and have a conversation and say, you know, this project I was really invested in, but it feels like you sort of took it, you sort of hijacked my project, then have that conversation. But here's what you can't do. What you can't do is you can't keep going around being mad at a person and upset about a person and holding grudges against that person if you're not willing to talk about it. And if you're not willing to talk to them, then you need to put a lid on it and get about doing your job. If you have talked about it and it didn't work, then you need to put a lid on it and get about doing your job. Or you need to move on down the road. So, yeah, I think you should have a conversation. If you've got enough political capital and you got enough security in your job that you think, hey, I don't care if I lose it, but I can't let things go. Although I will tell you, many times in my own career, working with clients, I've run into similar problems. And most often people in your position cower and they just talk about the person behind their back, and that does nothing but erode the culture. All right, so evaluate how much political capital you have and whether or not you should have the conversation. Number two, determine if you're not going to have it, how you can just be quiet and go about doing your job. Or number three, move on to another position. Take care. I'm Mike Staver. This is Mondays with Mike. Bye-bye.